Hey everyone, welcome back. Ready to dive into something pretty important today. Misinformation online.
Yeah, it's getting tougher and tougher to sort through everything out there.
It really is. So we're going to explore a company, Perplexity, that's fighting back against it using AI.
And they're really taking it head on with some really complex approaches. One thing that sets them apart, is they're not just using one AI trick, it's like a whole bunch of things working together.
So more than just your average fact checker.
Oh yeah, much more. It's almost like a multi-layered defense system.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Tell me about these layers.
Well, one of the key ones is what they call NLP, natural language processing. Basically, this lets Perplexity, actually read and understand text just like we do.
So it's getting the context, the nuances, not just scanning for keywords.
Exactly. Like it can understand the tone, even pick up on emotional cues that might be trying to manipulate you.
So it's like it's learned to recognize the language of deception. That's wild. But how does it actually determine if something is true or not?
Right. So that's where another layer comes in real-time fact checking. They've got this enormous database constantly updated with reliable sources.
Yo, give me some examples of what kind of sources we're talking about.
So think like government data, scientific papers, those kinds of things. Oh, and reputable fact checking websites too.
So any claim it comes across, it's immediately checking against all of that.
Exactly. It's like having a super-powered research team just working instantly.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
But misinformation isn't just in text anymore, right? What about images and videos, especially those deepfakes? Can Perplexity handle that?
Absolutely. It uses what's called computer vision to tackle those.
Wait, seriously? It can debunk fake images and videos too.
Yep. So for images, the AI looks at things like, shadows and lighting to find inconsistencies that might show it's been messed with.
Okay, so it's like a digital detective looking for visual clues that something's off. But deepfakes are getting so realistic. How can AI even tell?
It focuses on subtle things that are hard to fake perfectly,
Hmm?
like, tiny unnatural facial expressions or how the lips move compared to the words.
It's like a lie detector, but for videos. It
Yeah.
analyzes those micro expressions. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
But what about those coordinated misinformation campaigns online where tons of accounts spread the same stuff? Can Perplexity do anything about that?
You bet. It uses a technique called social network analysis. It can actually map out the relationships between accounts and look for suspicious patterns.
Like what kind of patterns are we talking about?
So think about a bunch of new accounts all suddenly spamming the same message that's a classic sign of a bot network up to no good.
So Perplexity can see those strings being pulled, like giving us a glimpse behind the curtain of how these campaigns work. Incredible.
And it goes even further. Sentiment analysis helps Perplexity pick up on emotionally charged language, the kind often used to manipulate people.
You mean like those phrases that are meant to make us panic or get angry without actual evidence?
Exactly. Stuff like the shocking truth they don't want you to know. Those kinds of things.
Designed to trigger our emotions rather than our logic. So Perplexity is tuned into that.
Yep. It's like it's learned the language of manipulation to help us see through it. This is all so fascinating. But can you give me some concrete examples of how this is making a real difference?
Of course. So, for example, during a recent election, there was a social media post going around claiming that voting machines in a certain district were malfunctioning and deleting votes for a specific candidate.
Wow, I remember hearing about things like that. That's scary stuff. Did Perplexity do anything about it?
It did. It was able to analyze the claim, cross-reference it with official records and statements from election officials, and ultimately flag it as false information.
So it potentially helped prevent people from being misled, especially during such an important event.
What else is in the works for Perplexity?
Well, they're working on being able to analyze even more types of media. So we talked about images and videos, right?
Right.
But they want to be able to handle stuff like audio and mixed media too.
It's pretty mind-blowing to think about what this technology could do. But at the end of the day, it comes down to people, right?
Couldn't agree more. Perplexity gives us awesome tools, but we have to use them right and be part of the solution.
We can't just expect tech to magically fix everything. We have to be thoughtful, be critical about the information we see and share.
Totally. So going back to what we talked about before, knowing about tools like Perplexity, how does that change the way you look at information online?
It definitely makes me more skeptical. I question everything now. Just because something pops up on my feed doesn't mean it's true. I have to double-check things, look for different
I
viewpoints.
hear that. And it makes you realize how important those organizations are, the ones dedicated to fact-checking and teaching people how to evaluate information.
They're so crucial, helping us make sense of it all.
It's been really great diving deep into Perplexity and this whole fight against misinformation.
It really has. Thanks, everyone, for listening. And that's it for this deep dive. We'll be back tomorrow evening with another one, so make sure to join us then. Until then, stay curious and stay informed.